They always say. It's what I do.
Well,
Don't me, I just got now. So y'all do something? That's nice.
I think we're gonna have to call. See if we can get some. Oh, he does, yeah, oh, that's a little bit. I mean, we're gonna have to see that price line. Probably on the bottom. We kept it around about and then everyone. Yeah, we're
He has got money, he is rich. Just got a little crumb here and there. Hey, where? So I heard, started out here, so they're all.
Lined up like that. As soon as you reach for that, I'm about to call to order the July 20th regular meeting of the Marks Ferry City Council. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, remain standing for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we ask for your blessing tonight in this council meeting. Grant our city leaders the wisdom, patience, and understanding to make the best decisions for our city and its people. Amen.
Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Hawker.
Here.
Mr. Davies.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Nyman.
Here.
Mr. Tram.
Here.
Mr. Regis.
Here.
You should all receive the minutes of the last several meetings. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, then they will stand approved as you see. Do we have any correspondence or petitions? Then we'll move on to reports of officers of the city. Start with Mayor Crum.
I just have three simple things. First of all, the paperwork for the state fund for State Route 647 has been submitted by ODOT. And they're awaiting an answer from the state to get back to us as the city said we're putting more money into that. So as soon as we find that answer, I'll pass that on. We were fortunate the last couple of days, the mobile crew for the CAC has been able to come in to the city. So they've been going around the city cutting the water, the lots and stuff that were getting pretty high with grass and weeds. Last thing I got is a reminder for those of you that session for the 10, this is after hours from 5 to 7 at Houston High Regional Hospital tomorrow night in the Grand Fire. That's all I have.
Are there any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mayor. Service Director, Mr. Cleveland.
Thank you. Just want to remind everyone that weekly flushing hydrants started Sunday evening, 10 o'clock, and or through the night. That'll be all week. So there may be some acceleration from laundry. Citizens should be aware of that. This time around, we will be at the same time flushing out sewers, sanitary and storm sewers to clean those out. Figure we're using that water, we must not just waste it going down the drain. We'll utilize it to take care of some of the sewers that are a problem for us. And Mr. Stu is only here for the water break actually, but we finished the job on the filter bed, the second one. That's finished. They made some adjustments. I think they're still kind of tweaking things with it. We're really seeing some at this point. We want to get that out there. Everybody knows, so that job is almost completed, I guess, other than us taking care of that. We also have inmates coming in next Monday, Tuesday. We will actually utilize those folks in the cemetery and the CAC workers we now have, that we've had in the cemetery for a number of weeks now. We're actually coming out of town to take care of some of the things. So it's a win-win for us in that respect. So all we have to do this week, which is a big plus for us. So we thank Belmont Corrections for allowing us to utilize their workers. I believe, of course, their scheduling is difficult, but I believe they're planning on one more time toward the end of October, coming in and giving the cemetery one for winter project. I also want to say that we are beginning to reset grave markers in the cemetery. Mr. Sudo Mr. Yu, we have a few police officers helping out. It's an enormous task. They're trying to take on the ones they can handle right now. And as we get into the larger ones, we're gonna have to, work out equipment and borrowing equipment, that kind of thing, get this raised up. But you should see a big difference. They set 5 up last week. Barring water breaks this week, they would have had 5 more. We'll see what we can do the rest of the week. But there will be 5 more, I would say, in the next 7 to 10 days. They're trying to do the ones that have been down for a while. So we're preparing this, including preparing for it. So it won't be something that falls right back in the But big difference in the cemetery right now. I think we're pretty happy with results that are going on. Hearing good things from us. So,
But I just have people at times that right now, that place, but it's turned around. If they ever, I know it was Ken and the guys down there, so I'd like to pass on for me. They did a great job. The place is still a bit more confident than we guess a year over a year ago. It was good. Cemetery, I was supposed to ask on part of my family, my sister with them, but they were very happy and said to make sure they pass on to you all that they were very happy with the way it looked and everything was looking. It was uplifting to see it was good. And the question I had, and I think the answer partially I was fine with, we're waiting on the threshold is out.
The boom tractor got picked up last week. So I know it was 39 at that point with out of D&J, out of Cass.
Is that John Jones? Do you know if that's it?
I don't know that. They're about 10 miles outside of Cass.
I'm like, I ain't calling there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we've been trying.
I appreciate wrestling with him, so maybe I got.
He's pretty familiar with me calling and saying, where is it, when it's coming back? So,
Yeah.
but when it comes back, we'll have to put the boom back on, the concrete and all that, so that they're just waiting.
I just had some people ask, at least,
We're still trying to find one, hopefully, that maybe for a day or two, that we can borrow, and so far we haven't been able to find one.
you guys told me when you was telling me, I sneak out on 70, you take that much park at night and use that.
Every time I see one.
I wonder what you're doing right now, Mark.
There's a couple of rain nests on my side.
Those are the ones I see all the time.
I can do that.
Should break by the extra.
Right by the exit.
Any other questions? Mr. Davis?
I have one. When you guys flush hydrants, on saying, the sewer line or sewage line with the sewer storms and drain, and busted last time you flooded hydrants, you guys flooded me.
Oh, okay.
So you can look at that.
Absolutely.
Or no.
Prior to the question, yeah. Okay, yeah. Is that at the top of?
Yeah, it's up, well, if you go to Zane Knowles on the right, you know where I live?
Yeah.
Look down, you see,
Right.
you see it's busted right into it.
All right.
And 2 is when you get to where you need equipment to set stones, maybe some construction will get interrupted.
I can actually add one more thing about cemetery. We are gathering estimates on 11 trees at Riverview that are dead and are starting to pose a hazard. And there's one enormous tree at Walnut Grove that is a definite hazard. It's almost hollowed out. The estimate that we hear to see, but we're going to continue to look for others. The first estimate we got was 11,000 or 13,000, something like that. Of the Walnut Grove. And that was about the taking down the trees because of the crane is basically needed to get to some of them is $21,000 in Riverview. So the Walnut Grove one is probably the most pressing. Like I said, we're going to get other estimates. The difficulty is in bringing it down and protecting the stems. But we'll continue. We'll try to get a better price.
We talked about if at some point we're able to do this, or we can do some of it ourselves. We thought about cutting wood up into the fireside wood and splitting it and installing it by the board and putting that money back in the cemetery, up for the maintenance of the cemetery.
I don't have a curry.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Ferry. Mayor, did you have anything else on your safety? Did you have anything on your safety? Auditor, Ms. Randall.
The only thing I have, there's been some questions about the income tax revenue being higher than normal. And that's because we had most of it, because there have been 3 companies, 2 of them have a higher net profit and loss. That's money coming out on an ongoing basis. And there was a company who wasn't sending in the withholding, so we sent it in all at once, even though it went kind of as an interest line, so that came about $56,000.
Any questions? Thank you. Call Director, Mr. Stubbs.
No report.
Are there any other departments, police department?
No report.
Anyone else who would like to report? If not, then we'll move on to reports of committees and start with finance and auditors.
I've been away for a couple of weeks, so didn't have any meetings, but, one thing I passed out this, the agreement to look over for the, I got one that you read. Okay. You then, but, just look this over, and I want to get a meeting together so we can review this and go over some other stuff on the budget. And just looking at the things I was talking to John and Rick earlier and pulling, I'm going to ask you a question too. Going to ask Paul. I was looking down through where we're low and stuff, and I know there's a lot of conference streets one that worries me the most. I'm worried about where that's going to go and where the liability is going to go. I guess that's what we're thinking.
What do you mean?
If we keep running that in the red, is it going?
Right, we can. I mean, it's not something we can continue doing indefinitely into the future.
Because I look at them like this squad, and they look like we're going to pull them out. And I think the sanitation is going to go back around the street. I mean, I talked to the mayor about it. It scares me. I think we need a meeting as soon as we can on that and talk about it and see what we're going to do. And we'll cover this squad agreement at the same time. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I think it's something we need to do quick.
I didn't get one agree.
I thought
I get it, you know.
But that's all I have. People think over a date and let me know what's a good date for everybody as soon as possible.
Street, Mr. Rogers.
The only thing I have is the first street bidding went out in the newspaper on Monday, and it will be in the newspaper the following Monday. So we're only like 10 days behind schedule, something like that. So, things are progressing, and when are the bids due? The end of July?
That would be first week of August, and then the opening. I don't remember the date exactly.
August the 10th?
So I think I was gonna say second week of August.
So, that's when the bids will be opened, and so I'll get a meeting scheduled for the street department after, so that we can find out how the rerouting and things like that will go, so we can have
On that as well, I did contact, Mr. Senator asked me to, I contacted the engineers on that regarding the municipal county tax money being used to make payments. So they were gonna call Mr. Bennett, and discuss what exactly he needs, what wording, go over from there. So they're taking the bottom from so to speak on that. So they're aware of that situation, how we need that wrapped up to us.
Thank you.
Is that all, Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Question? street, I don't know, you might cover a lot of lawn, anything going on the hill there? The gentleman will look into that project for us and see about submitting, I know we're not gonna do it this year.
North and South Ridge, Jack.
Yeah.
Mr. Cleric is giving us 3 different estimates on that, so
I just didn't hear any updates on it, I just wanna make sure we don't let that die.
if he does it totally, if we do it partially, and I think the third estimate is if he supervises our guys to do it. So we're waiting on that.
Okay, thank
Super sidewalk, Mr. Schmidt. Code, Mr. Reeves.
you. No report.
Safety, Mr. Hunter.
No report.
Service, Mr. Davis.
No report.
Cemetery, Mr. Young.
Chris, want to approve, it's no report.
Okay. Any other PDs who would like to speak or liaisons? If not, then that will take us to hearing of any citizens relative to any matter that may properly be brought to the attention of council. If any citizen would like to speak, please approach the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and please limit your speaking to the 5 minutes that have been set aside by council. The mayor has informed me that Ryan Shambach would like to speak for a few moments.
Thank you.
And I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you. Just want to introduce myself real quick. Ryan Shamwell, running for Belmont County Commissioner from Bridgeport, Ohio. Was in Bridgeport for 28 years. Got married, moved to West Virginia, and been back in Belmont County for 2.5 years. I was a commissioner for 4 years in Marshall County, worked a lot with the oil and gas business. We put in a $12 million public safety building and also worked a lot on the $615 million natural gas power plant coming in. I'd just like to go from going around all the council meetings, introducing myself. Would like to stay informed within the villages and the towns in Belmont County. In Marshall County, we worked a lot with the mayors and the police chiefs. I've met with the mayor, and I've also met with the police chief a few times and got the chance to meet some of you and for all of you. I dealt with Jack at the mill years ago. He was not easy to deal with. He was tough on pricing and product and all that, but it was some good times. And I bought a shotgun 30 years ago off Ben Nyman, who wasn't his dad, but was his uncle. But thanks for the time.
Thank you. Any other citizens who would like to speak?
My name is Richard Ward, 915 Virginia Street. And just basically a question, it's not criticism, but there seems to be a lot of economic development that's going on, particularly in the St. Crystal, Richland Township area, west of St. Crystal. Just wondering what kind of relationship you have with Port Authority, with Community Improvement Corporation, Department of Government, and so on. Are you working with them on any projects or what?
We talked with them and we discussed it, we get updates from Omega and other entities within the state of Ohio about possible businesses looking for areas to move to. But unfortunately, a lot of them, the 40+ acres or whatever, want to trade in that 40+ acres along the riverfront to give. But we have a few things that the Port Authority is looking at for us. And so it's a matter of when they get back to us and let us know what they have discovered or whatever. But we do have some interested possible businesses coming into the Marcus Ferry area, our city in particular, so hopefully everyone will be looking up at that.
It's very good. Also, I'd like to thank the mayor, Chris, everyone involved. Had a meeting today with the folks at the Chamber of Commerce, and there's a possibility, it's in the works anyhow, about having new candidates on this work. It's essentially a work together, in some context today, so it's in the works, so everybody it's going to happen, we'll be that possibility, some possibility in October, it has to be confirmed in this year. But I think we're going to be looking for a certain place for this business as well. everyone's going to be playing, not just the city, but Roxbury residents. I think it's going to be a real opportunity for us to highlight the Roxbury and student campus and school. So sure, we'll certainly get right at it. So we have it all further out on the campus there. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Any other citizens who like to speak?
Hi, my name is Mitch Taylor. I live in Bethesda, but I own a house on North 8th Street, 431 North 8th Street. My mother-in-law lives there. And we're getting ready to move her and then sell the house. But the neighbor's house is, the foundation has washed completely out from under it, and it's sitting there and it's getting ready to fall over on our house. Nothing's been done like 6-7 months other than putting a piece of police tape from my back porch across my side yard over to the house that's getting ready to fall in on my house. I'm just wondering what resources, whom I can talk to about maybe getting these people to either fix their house or something. I couldn't sell my house on the best day. Are you aware of the situation?
Yes.
Before you leave, give me your phone number or something. So
Yes, sir.
I have a way to get hold of you, but, I gotta check with who's sued. We've, I believe, sent letters out already, citations, whatever, have them come in their report and start doing something. And if it becomes too much of a problem, then as a safety issue, then we can force them to remove the house, or we can go in and remove it before that.
It's definitely going to become a safety issue. Not the next few hours or days or weeks, but another wet winter.
Yeah. So we're definitely aware of it. We're looking into our possibility of what we can do legally. But give me your number before you leave, and then
Yes, sir.
that way I can get back with you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. If there are no other citizens, then that will take us on to miscellaneous business. I think we have no legislation to come. We'll move on to miscellaneous. Mr. Davis.
Do you want to set up a finance meeting or?
That's what I was looking at. Tomorrow night's definitely out for me. Wednesday next week's out for me. Other than that, I'm wide open. How's your schedule?
8 and 11.
My schedule is pretty open.
From the 8th to the 11th, I won't be available.
I will be available between the second and the 12th.
26th, any good? Anybody? Tuesday the 26th?
We can do that.
John, you're better off around 6,
Yeah.
6 p.m.
Finance 6 on the 26th.
Okay with you, Mayor? That's good.
And then we'll go over the finance and then also the contract and, you know, if you got anything else bringing for safety.
This is the contract they have now.
Yes.
Oh, I'll get this one.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. I'll just, I can contact him or you can get over with Brian and then if you want to contact him, tell him we're gonna have that meeting 26th, they're more welcome to be here. It's 6 p.m., that's good.
Has Mr. Stecker reviewed the contract? Because we were
Yes.
having a discussion on it.
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to come to that meeting?
If you could.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it might be a good idea.
What we could do is have you come, we'll do this right away, very first thing, and then that way you can do if you have something else to do.
That's fine.
We'll hit that first. Okay.
So miscellaneous.
I'm going to make a motion to set the first officer in the city.
Motion by Mr. Regis to accept the reports of officers to the city, second by Mr. Sherman. For any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. I do have one thing under miscellaneous I'd like council to consider. We have from time to time, come up with property that we need to purchase or the property that we need to sell. And I think as council has had to consider these issues in the past, I think it might be a good idea if we had a committee that could research sales and purchase when these things come up. And it might be good if we had a standing committee. And that way, whether there's a taxation issue, or whether it's just property value issue, whether Mr. Stecker needs to, we can have a committee that would review. So obviously, it's not going to be constantly busy. And I wanted to know if council thought about that. It would be, I talked to Mr. Cleary, we thought about real estate sales and acquisitions. If this committee would be mostly make recommendations, bring the information back to council, as opposed to being as opposed to being, council being blindsided in an executive session. Mr. Stecker, first of all, my question is that a legal committee, since that sale property is a.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to go through the formal process.
Correct,
For
correct.
council, but
This
you
would be
get
more
into the
information.
advisory committee.
Exactly. I wanted to make sure, because
Review the
this
information.
just came up
and bring it to
today.
council. Yeah.
Well, so.
I've got a piece of property on North Main Street for sale.
But this would be purchased property for sale, city-owned property, which does come up from time to time. And one of the reasons is I have 2 requests for consideration of those kind of things now, that I think should probably be researched. Do I hear 2 volunteers? Mr. Davis has already volunteered in a drafted kind of way. Mr. Reed, you're on code, so that seems like a good thing. Mr. Honker, I thank all 3 of you. And I'll let you, you can decide who wants to chair. Mr. Honker, your chair.
Will you chair?
That'd be
I appreciate that. Okay, I'll turn this over to you. Mr. Rogers.
Under miscellaneous business, I know that we had our next meeting the first Wednesday in August scheduled for down at the city park. But from what I understand, there's also a race that night.
Correct.
So we need to discuss whether or not we want to postpone that meeting, do away with our first monthly meeting in August, or if you still want to have the council meeting.
I think there's also a question about whether Mr. Hunter may or may not be there, and of course, Ms. Randall will not be there. Mr. Schramm will not be there.
I make a motion to cancel.
I'll second.
A motion by Mr. Regis, second by Mr. Hunter, that the August 3rd council meeting be canceled. Is there any discussion?
Only thing we have any pending legislation that has to be passed. That meeting.
Not to my knowledge at this time.
No, we don't have it yet.
I think that's on a time frame. I have a couple I'm gonna drop, but they can wait.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Regis.
Yes.
Mr. Hunter.
Yes.
Mr. Davies.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Nyman.
Yes.
Mr. Tran.
Yes.
And the meeting is canceled. Yes, sir.
Don't forget budget.
That's why I was just gonna open my mouth to remind them. Yes, the budget hearing on the 29th. What's the time again?
2 p.m.
2.
Yeah.
I mean, right, 2 o'clock at the auditor's office in St. Clair, so. The courthouse. It's a good hearing to go to. It gives a lot of information. So, all councilmen, if you can make it, as well as, of course, the industry. Anything else? Mr. Hunter?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Hunter, second by Mr. Regis, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And we will adjourn. Mr. Brian.
It was not. Not called right in, but come on.
That'd be great.
But I can give it to us.
Yeah.
I'll start I remember you telling me about